So we were talking there a couple minutes ago about rivalries, but a lot of the thing before this game was Ireland and South Africa versus Ireland. So casual, which game was bigger in terms of, the build up, the banter for you guys to win? Would you
Um,
rather get two wins against the All Blacks or two wins against Ireland?
obviously, we'd always say like getting the 2 wins over the All Blacks would be massive. I can't remember the last time we beat the All Blacks twice because you beat the All Blacks kind of twice, you win the rugby championship, and we don't do that too often. But I kind of think with the build up that we had right before the World Cup, and then after the World Cup, the hype around the Irish tour down here, I think it was more important for us to finally get the victory over Ireland. Would have been much better if we got 2 victories over Ireland. I think that meant more for us, especially with that little voodoo hanging over our head, where it's like, well, we are world champions, but we haven't beaten Ireland in how many years? So now we finally got that victory, but it would have been better to secure it with the 2 victories. So I think that was more important for us. But your most important game is obviously just the one that you play next. So now we're just looking at the All Blacks and don't worry about Ireland. But yeah, obviously it still stings. And I think like for me, when I looked at the calendar year, it's like I wanted to win that Ireland series more than beating New Zealand necessarily because we've beaten New Zealand a couple of times. I want to win that Island tour. So just on this year alone, Ireland probably.
Because in my opinion, it was more so to the fans that the Ireland test meant more, because like it was mainly fans going back and forth between Ireland and South Africa. It's more so like there was a lot more respect between the two like sets of fans when it comes to All Blacks and Springboks,
Yeah,
and I
it
think
is a respectful rivalry. This one
yeah,
was heated between Ireland
yeah,
and
it got quite heated at times between the two sets of fans, and it was. I think maybe to the players it might be different, but for the fans, I think the Ireland one was a lot bigger. Like I heard a lot more people talking about it. I don't know if that's just me because I'm an Ireland fan, but to me it seemed from like an outsider of South Africa, it seemed like it was bigger to them.
No, you are correct, man. Like obviously there was more hype around the Ireland South Africa one because it was a fiery rivalry. Like you had millions of fans going up against each other. Literally every single comment section. Like you could have had a platform that had nearly zero followers or anything, but you could post something about that game, and whether you supported South Africa or Ireland, Tiernan, myself, me and you would know. Like I got a lot of backlash from the Irish, and you got a lot of backlash from the South Africans because we are very passionate fans,
Vicious.
very loud fans. And I think just with the build up and the hype around it, that kind of made that game a bit more emotional and um, how do you say it, more important to us to actually go and win. But I think I still think even with the banter and all, like it's still a respectful rivalry between the two of us. Like the South Africans or well the Springboks respect the Irish team and like they would never take them for granted. And I'm sure that the Irish team still respected the Springboks. Um,
Yeah, it's much more
yeah,
between the fans this one, like,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
just
whereas
exactly. Yeah,
between the
All Black
fans.
Springboks, it's between the teams.
Well, it's
yeah,
not really much
exactly. Yeah.
respect when they keep going on podcasts and saying about how they're going to see him in the final and stuff.
Yeah.
Was not true. Oh, this is not an Ireland versus Africa podcast. I think we covered that, but that wasn't true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We move on.
I think as an England fan, I feel like a WWE wrestler standing on the side watching these two fight it out in the comments and stuff, and then England come in and beat you both. But that's not the point. But it's been like the rivalry between the two nations for me is way more fierce right now than any other, particularly All Blacks South Africa, which is just mild.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think it will still be like that for a while. I think the fact that both teams won one game of it, like, just means the rivalry keeps on going, and I think that's great for the sport. We always talk about ways to grow the sport, and I think rivalries like this one is great for the sport. It gets fans more involved. We can all agree that the sport of rugby got a bit dull a couple of years ago, but all of a sudden it feels like there's a lot more hype. It's a lot more competitive between countries. I mean, like the All Blacks was running away with it, but now it's like, okay, well, the All Blacks look a bit more beatable, but they're still one of the top teams. South Africa, just got beaten, but they are the world champions. You've got Ireland, who in the last couple of years, arguably the best team in the world, can never write off France. Yeah, you see all of a sudden you've got more competitive teams, and then obviously England starting to find their feet. Haven't necessarily got the results, but all of a sudden they knocked off Ireland. So now it's like, well, rugby's in a good spot at the moment, and it needs those rivalries to evolve. Now imagine this with the Wallabies getting better, with Wales getting back, finding their feet. You see the likes of Portugal getting better, Italy getting better. So it's just like the sport's in a good place, but it needs to take this momentum and push it forward. So it's important for fans like this, the Irish fans and the South African fans, and well, the All Blacks fans engage a lot as well. So it's important for those sets of fans to really like go at each other. If you get what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, it's not always nice, but that's how you push the sport forward. Look at football, for instance. I mean,
Yeah.
that it's crazy. So I think it's all good for the sport. I love the fact that fans engage with it. It just means the sport continues to grow.
I think it's the best rivalry in rugby right now.
Yeah, because
Sorry?
if you told, go ahead.
Yeah, go. Sorry.
Jimmy,
go.
you go.
Oh, I go, right. Yeah. But if you told me a year ago that South Africa would be one of our biggest rivals, I would have said you're crazy. Like, because like this only started like less than a year ago, this rivalry, and look how big it's gotten. It is like, as you said, casual. It is great for the sport. Yeah, it might get a bit heated at times, but it is all just to grow the game.
Yeah, couldn't have said it any better. Like, I fully agree with you. Channel thing on.
Yeah, we'll talk about those rivalries. It's like, yeah, so I think it's definitely like we want teams like Australia to come back, and I think Argentina are one of the teams really getting better, and they've actually got really passionate fans. So it'd be exciting to see them more in social media as well. But their team is just going upwards. But yeah, this Island South Africa for me is definitely the most exciting right now, and it's just accelerated so quickly. But Jimmy was saying off camera that he thinks South Africa are too scared to come to Dublin and play Ireland, in Dublin. So I wonder what you think on that. You're not playing any big teams other than England in autumn.
I don't recall saying that, so I don't know where he got that from. But yeah,
don't lie now, Jim.
I'm not lying. I don't
Jimmy,
know where
you said it. Don't go hiding right now.
I don't know where the proof of this is, but okay. So
yeah, like I don't have an issue with playing Ireland in Dublin. Obviously, we wanted that home game against Ireland because we kept on losing to them at the Aviva, and it was like, surely we deserve a home game once because we haven't played them home in quite a while. But now that we got 2 home games, it should be fair that we go and play Ireland at the Aviva again. It is a scary place to go to. I think Ireland is in the top 5 teams that's like got an unbeaten streak at a certain venue, and that's obviously at the Aviva. So it's no easy feat going there. You have to be a special team to go there and knock them over. So yeah, I mean it is